Hey everybody, what's going on? It was another eventful week for the Montreal Canadiens, and there's plenty to dive into, but this episode is going to be a little different than we normally do here. Usually we're looking towards what transpired over the last week, but because of what we witnessed last night with the Montreal Canadiens and them honoring PK Subban for his time with the Habs, I think it's best we just really look into the career of PK Subban and what he meant to the city of Montreal and just fans as a whole. No matter who you are or what side of the equation you found yourself landing on, when PK Subban was dealt from the Montreal Canadiens to the Nashville Predators for Shea Weber, you had some sort of reaction. There were some people that decided that PK Subban was not expendable and that they needed to go wherever PK went, and they sided with PK on that side of the bracket. But there were also people who said PK Subban isn't what the Montreal Canadiens stand for, and that a veteran leader like a Shea Weber would make their team better in the long run. And to me, there really isn't a right or a wrong answer in terms of how you're supposed to be a fan in moments like that. There were people that loved PK, there were people that didn't like him because they saw him as more of a distraction, whether that was in the room or just taking the spotlight off the team and making it more about him. But no matter what you can say about PK Subban, there is no doubt that he is one of the most generous people that has ever worn the Montreal Canadiens uniform, and the stuff he did off the ice really makes you think twice about a lot of professional athletes, especially with some of the things that are coming out in the news nowadays. PK Subban is just a genuine human being, and he's someone that deserves to be rooted for, especially on the ice. You look at what he contributed as a player in a Montreal Canadiens uniform. He's one of the most dynamic players that's laced them up over the last 30 years and just really did a good job of igniting the passion again in fans, and I think that should play a big role in how he's remembered in the long term for his time with the Montreal Canadiens. Now, for me personally, I've always loved the game of hockey. It was something I grew up watching, was always severely passionate about, and one of the reasons why I started this YouTube channel. So to say PK Subban had a big influence on me as a hockey fan would be an understatement. This is just a player that you want to watch when you watch a hockey game. He's entertaining. He just does a lot of the things you want to see, especially in the modern day NHL. You could say maybe he was a little bit before his time, especially when you consider what the NHL is like today, being more of a skating and skill-driven league. This is the type of league, if Subban were healthier and were younger, he would definitely thrive in. You look at just what he brought to the table as a smooth skating guy that was just amazing on his edges. His edge work was second to none and was just tremendous with the puck. Sure, he made some mistakes, but who doesn't on the back end? I'd much rather a player that's willing to do stuff offensively and take those risks, move the puck, and have those chances, as well as being strong defensively like Subban was. No one really talks about this, but he was one of the strongest penalty killers in the NHL during his time with the Montreal Canadiens, and that certainly deserves to be notified here, because a lot of people just say that PK Subban was a defensive liability, and that just wasn't the case if you look at the numbers. So I'd like to just go to bat for him a bit there in that category. But just how he ignited the fan base, how he made you jump out of your seat whenever he went for one of his patented rushes from behind the net, and just his ability to carry the puck out of the zone. You just can't see that today in this way the Montreal Canadiens are operating. They miss a player like him, quite frankly, and he's someone that they could have used beyond what they did in that trade with the Nashville Predators. Sure, Shea Weber was a great part of what the Montreal Canadiens did, especially during their Stanley Cup Finals run, but if you look at how the NHL has continued to adapt, Subban would have had just as strong an impact with this Montreal Canadiens team, and who knows if he would have suffered the same fate with the injuries that kind of derailed his career and cut it a little bit shorter than we thought was necessary. At the end of the day, no matter what you think about PK Subban as an NHL hockey player, he said it best. He doesn't want to be remembered as a hockey player, and he's just a human being that does a lot of things outside of the game, especially with his charitable contributions and things that go under the radar, like his visits to the Montreal Canadiens Children's Hospital. Those kids are going to have memories for life because of him and just his contributions in that area, and that just can't go understated. Sure, a lot of other NHL players and professional athletes go do that stuff in their spare time, and just because PK liked the spotlight on him and liked getting recognition for what he was doing, it doesn't change the fact that what he was doing was for a better cause than just grabbing the spotlight for himself. So I really do believe that he should be recognized, and he was recognized last night for his contributions, not only on the ice but off the ice, more importantly. That's it for me today from Cook's Corner. As always, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of the ceremony last night and what you thought of PK Subban's tenure with the Montreal Canadiens. Along with that, tell me your favorite PK Subban memory in the comments down below as well. For me, it has to be his overtime winner against the Boston Bruins or his goal coming out of the penalty box against the Boston Bruins, both in the playoffs. Just his ability to ignite the fans and show up in those big games always stood out for me with PK Subban. But that's it for me today. So let me know down below your thoughts on that. I'm Zach Cook. We'll see you later.